Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. My name is Joe Passarelli, and this is the first installment of the Joe Passarelli Show, where I cover all kinds of sports topics, wrestling, pop culture, maybe even personal topics. Who knows? This is my first ever episode. You guys know me as one half of the Strike Zone with the jazz man, Jason Jaznowski. Shout out to his Instagram channel. The Sampler 1987 does good work over there, sampling his products and everything. Wanted to put over my boy real quick, but yes, this is my first ever video blog, and I wanted to broadcast this out there to everybody out on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube, everybody who's been so good and followed my journey, and it's the first step into a new venture we're going to be doing. It's the Joe Passarelli Show, Episode 1. Alright, topic number 1 of the day, folks. Coming off of last night's Monday Night Raw, it was a big one in Chicago, Illinois. And of course, the main topic at hand was the whereabouts of one CM Punk. Was he going to appear? Was WWE going to acknowledge him? Were the fans going to hijack the show to the point of riot-like happenings in Chicago at the Allstate Center? Well, we got our answers last night live on Monday Night Raw as none other than Paul Heyman himself, one of the greatest mouthpieces managers of all time, comes out. Certainly a known associate of CM Punk throughout the years. Comes out to CM Punk's music, kind of ribs the crowd, and really addresses the whole CM Punk situation. I thought it was a remarkable job the way he pieced together the storyline of Undertaker and Brock and worked some shoot and some truth in there and then connected the dots to CM Punk essentially being forced to turn babyface and blaming it on the fans. I thought it was really a brilliant job and really hit points that CM Punk himself probably would have hit brilliantly, but unfortunately we did not get CM Punk, and I didn't want this to be a Raw review show. I wanted to express my thoughts on Phillip Brooks, on CM Punk, a man who, like Stone Cold Steve Austin, the day after the Royal Rumble, like when Steve Austin did to Brock Lesnar when he wouldn't want to put over Brock Lesnar, leading up to King of the Ring, Phillip Brooks, CM Punk, decided to take his ball and go home. He was very burned out, very injured, and look, I've been one of Punk's biggest fans. In 2011, when he cut that pipe bomb promo, it changed my life. It changed a lot of wrestling fans' life. It helped inspire me to speak my mind. And CM Punk's been a big star, and you certainly could make the argument that the company has dropped the ball with him at certain instances and could have used him better, despite the fact that he had a 434-day reign as the WWE Champion, the longest in, since the Hogan era, essentially. So, I feel like if the WWE had just brought CM Punk back and given him one of the two main events, either against Triple H or in the World Heavyweight title picture with Batista and Randy Orton in that mix. It's hard for me to say this because I'm a huge fan of CM Punk and I would have enjoyed seeing him in that spot, but CM Punk at that present point didn't deserve that spot. What kind of message did that send to your locker room? To the guys like Cesaro who are coming up like a blazing fire. The guys like Big E, the guys like Roman Reigns, the Wyatts, all these guys who are coming up, and you're trying to finally get the new generation kicked off and get these guys over, and even guys like Ziggler and guys have been working and kind of been sniffing a little bit at the top and then taken away from them. What kind of message does that send to your locker room for WWE to just bring CM Punk back? I mean, CM Punk thought it was beneath him to work Triple H, and part of me, I don't blame him. He hadn't main evented WrestleMania. He had been the champion, defended the title against Chris Jericho at WrestleMania, had stolen the show with Randy Orton a couple years ago at WrestleMania, certainly had a huge WrestleMania moment last year against The Undertaker, but really had lacked that WrestleMania moment, which would have defined him in the main event, closing the show, and I can see where he's coming from, but at the same time, if the plan was not to re-sign, and he just walked out, and he hasn't had any contact, he's been doing his thing, at this point, CM Punk is doing what's best for CM Punk. He needs to go, he needs to rest, he needs to recharge his battery. We may never see him in professional wrestling again. Maybe he'll go into writing comic books. Maybe he'll go into other ventures. Maybe, who knows, maybe he'll go into MMA broadcasting. Maybe he'll go into MMA entirely. Who knows? The sky's the limit for CM Punk. He's a big star. He's going to be a big star in whatever he does. And obviously, he was made a big star in the WWE. I've been a fan of him since he debuted in ECW. I admit I didn't watch Ring of Honor when him and Brian and all those guys, and Joe and all those guys were tearing it up back in the good old days of Ring of Honor. But I've watched my fair share of film to catch up. And look, CM Punk is a star anywhere he's going to go. He's not going to go to TNA. I'm going to burst all you TNA soldiers out there who think that's happening. Not going to happen. Don't even think about it. CM Punk is no way going to TNA. I would love to see him in Ring of Honor. Maybe him and AJ have one classic match. But at this present time, that's not going to happen either. I'm assuming, unless the WWE outright releases him, he can't compete anywhere until 3 months after his contract expires, which would be in July, so essentially October range we're talking. Yeah, I know TNA's got a big pay-per-view around then, Bound for Glory or whatever it is, but I really feel like that would be a step down for CM Punk, and I don't think CM Punk could really do anything to boost that company, as we've seen Kurt Angle and other stars of the caliber of CM Punk go over there and really not be game changers for TNA. So, overall, I feel like WWE handled this situation from Chicago on forward the best they could have. I really didn't like the fact that they didn't acknowledge him on TV before that. I thought they were a bit chicken shit about it, quite frankly. I thought they should have at least embraced it or acknowledged it in some way, and I thought they were going about it in a cowardly fashion. I always compare it to Steve Austin when he quit, and you know, the day he quit, Vince McMahon came out, and he didn't try to work the fans. He actually gave the fans the truth. Steve Austin went home. You fans paid good money to see him. We apologize. We advertised him. He's not going to be on the card. So, I'm glad WWE handled it the way they handled it. I'm glad WWE finally acknowledged CM Punk, and we can move on from the situation to start building towards WrestleMania and seeing the impact that Daniel Bryan's going to have, and seeing the impact the Shield's going to have, and Dolph Ziggler and the Wyatts and all these guys who are catching fire. It's an interesting time in the business with NXT getting so popular and all these young guys getting so popular. Fans are ready for a change at the top. They're ready for John Cena and Randy Orton to relinquish those spots. They're ready for big stars to stop coming in like Batista and Rock and taking spots from the Dolph Zigglers, from the guys who have busted their ass who deserve to be in the main event spotlight. So, at this point, WWE has to move on. They're going to move on. They're a multi-billion-dollar business for a reason, and they're going to be fine, and CM Punk's going to be fine. I think everybody, now that the Chicago Raw has come and passed, everybody needs to take a chill pill, relax, maybe look back on the career that was with CM Punk, with all of his stuff, WWE, Ring of Honor, even TNA. I know TNA uploaded their best of CM Punk as a little rib or whatever they're trying to do, trying to court him. I don't think it's going to be successful, but, you know, look back, watch the Best in the World DVD, watch all those great matches, and appreciate what he was. And, you know what, you still want to go and chant CM Punk, that's fine, you have a right, freedom to expression, but at the same time, don't do it at the expense of other people having great matches. Don't try to drown out Daniel Bryan and Dolph Ziggler and the Wyatts and the Shield and all the good aspects about Monday Night Raw, just because we're a little sour about what happened with CM Punk. WWE didn't release CM Punk. They had a very crappy creative plan for CM Punk, and quite frankly, CM Punk was not in the position mentally nor physically to execute. He was leaving in July anyway. Let's let him have his space. Let him have his recluse. You know, we've seen stars come and go. Chris Jericho left for 4 years, came back as the suit-wearing best in the world gimmick, and he ended up doing better work than he had ever done. Maybe CM Punk does that in a few years, but at this point, I'm not holding my breath. I know Steve Austin said on his podcast he expected Punk to be back by Mania. At this point, I don't see it happening. I also want people to kind of let up on Dave Meltzer. I mean, he followed what he thought was a lead. He produced a story which evoked a lot of emotion with a lot of fans. And look, he was wrong, and he admitted his source was a 50-50 as best. He said it was not a 100% deal. So, either someone ribbed him to work the fans, as Matt Hardy had suggested in one of his posts on Twitter, or, look, it's just a matter of, we need to move on from it. Wrestling's ready to move on from it. I'm ready to move on from it. I support CM Punk. I've purchased all of his shirts, his memorabilia, his DVD. Always be a big fan. He'll always be an inspiration in my life. Everything that he's done, how he lives his life in the straight edge fashion, how he he busts his ass and he works hard and he's a goal-oriented person, I'm always going to be influenced by that. But it's okay to move on. It's okay for fresh faces. And, this only can help Daniel Bryan. This only can help Roman Reigns. This only can help all the guys who deserve to be pushed and deserve the spotlight. So let's hope that can happen. I hope that can happen. Wanted to touch on another topic today. I know the main topic was CM Punk. Was watching the Providence College game versus Marquette tonight live on Fox Sports 1. Again, shout out to my co-host from the Strike Zone, the Jazz Man, Jason Jasnowski. He was working camera work down there live at the Dunkin' Donuts Center. Man, it was a barn burner. I caught really from the second half on in this game. It was a good back and forth game. Providence had a 10-point lead until late in the second half. Marquette fought back, and then Providence was up 3. They ended up fouling the three-point shooter. The three-point shooter made all 3 shots. They came down with a few ticks left. Game tied. They launched a reckless, unnecessary 3. They get the rebound, does Marquette. They launch a miracle shot, 3/4 court. They make it. It looks like maybe the Friars have lost on one of the biggest heartbreakers in what we've seen so far, probably in the NCAA, especially considering the Friars were going for their 20th win and really trying to get a resume builder against a conference opponent and lock down that 4th spot within the conference, which hopefully can get them in the tournament. But, obviously they're going on the road to Creighton next. They wanted to get this win at home on senior night. People like Bryce Cotton who have paid their dues. And Bryce Cotton had a great game. We end up going to overtime. The referees ruled that the shot did not count, the 3/4 shot, which it clearly was released in the gentleman's hand after the red light ran on, which was a great call by the referees at hand there live at the Dunkin' Donuts Center. Goes to 1 overtime, goes to 2 overtimes. Providence ends up tying it with free throws. Marquette goes to inbound the ball. It ends up going down by, they were down by 3. They ended up closing it within 1 within free throws that Bryce Cotton hit. They go, and wouldn't you know it, they inbound the ball. Marquette inbounds the ball. They sit there, and the guy makes the cardinal sin. He waits for the foul instead of initiating the action. Well, Bryce Cotton, being Johnny on the spot, went up, went for the clinch, went for the tie-up, and in college, it's the possession arrow. There's no jump ball, so, whoever the possession arrow favors, the ball goes to. Providence had the possession arrow. Bryce Cotton smartly went for the tie-up, and Providence ends up going in and hitting a big shot and winning the game. And huge moment, pandemonium at the Dunkin' Donuts Center. I just wanted to shout out the Providence College Friars, Ed Cooley, them boys over there. They're having a great season, and I really look forward to see them competing in the NCAA March Madness tournament again. I've been following PC since the days of Austin Crozier and God Sham God. I remember that Elite 8 run like it was yesterday and how magical it was for everyone in Rhode Island to really vicariously be a part of that. And as a Rick alum, I've always felt close to PC as almost like a sister school of Rick. I know Rick's a public institution and PC's not, but at the same time, they're in such close proximity, and I've networked and mingled with so many people, alumni and friends of Providence College, and obviously some of my friends work for and cover the Friars, so it's just great to see. It's great for Rhode Island. It's great for athletics. It's great. Alright, folks, you want to go subscribe to this page, Joe Passarelli, live on YouTube. Watch the video. Give me feedback. What did you like? What did you not like? Please feel free to enlighten me, ignite me, and excite me with all your suggestions. Subscribe. Hit me up. Thanks for listening.